Imminent move for XRP. That is what we're going to be talking about in this video. And towards the latter half of the video, we are going to be talking about some technical structure on the smaller time frames. That is predicting that XRP is essentially going to surge to the upside. We're going to be looking at that through the lens of a Bullflag pattern. Of course, we'll start off on the macro pattern. We typically only focus on the kind of weekly time frame pattern. That, of course, is in the form of a symmetrical triangle that we've been looking at, obviously pre the recent move that we've just seen, that is going to likely take XRP towards that sort of $20 range. So we'll be tying all that in towards the latter half of the video. I want to start more fundamentally off on, of course, XRP and what's currently taking place. And I had a really interesting comment on a video that I did a number of months ago now. I think I was in Croatia. And I was talking about, before Real USD was even announced, the concept of XRP and Ripple, the company, essentially being used to further the US's dominance globally from a fiscal point of view, but also a technological point of view. And that very much seems to be coming to fruition. Of course, we know that Trump is now the president of the United States. He's met with Brad Garlinghouse. We now have a crypto czar within the US. We have an agency called Doge, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But the path that XRP is destined to go on is one that was written out for it, potentially even before Bitcoin. And I truly do believe that. Actually, Ripple as a company, according to the Durham University, the report that we looked at a few days ago, actually came about in 2004. A lot of people don't know that, which, of course, the Satoshi white paper was released on Halloween the 31st of October, 2008. And then, of course, the first Genesis block was mined in January 2009. We also looked at actually how Peter Thiel, just the other day, and didn't get that many views of the video, which is interesting because I'm sure many people don't know about this sort of stuff. But Peter Thiel actually invested in a project through Founders Fund, his investment, venture capitalist arm. They actually invested in something called OpenCoin. OpenCoin then became Ripple, of course, with Chris Larson and Jeb McCaleb. A lot of people don't know that, but there's a path that is XRP has, I truly believe this, guys, been the plan from the very start in regards to Bitcoin is not a money, I don't believe. I don't think it's a currency. I think it was largely hijacked to never become that. And of course, you've got Roger Ver that's currently in jail that spoke out about that with hijacking of Bitcoin. And free Roger, I think he's a great guy in my opinion. And I don't think a lot of that makes a lot of sense. I hope Trump does something there. Anyway, we're digressing. The plan has very much been a foretold one for XRP and Ripple for a very long time. And we even looked at the fact that David Schwartz is ex-NSA, who, of course, and he's the chief architect of the XRP ledger, who, of course, NSA did release a paper in 1996 talking about a digital mint using cryptography. We're maybe losing some people here, throwing out lots of things that we've covered previously that you might not be aware of. But just understand that the plan for XRP and Ripple has been a foretold one, perhaps before even the introduction of Bitcoin, because there's a revolution or renaissance as it relates to finance and the global financial system that is to come, and a digital ledger plays a very important role in all of that. And that chosen asset, I believe, I think there's going to be multiple, but XRP is certainly one of them. I think XLM is another one. And we're ultimately starting to see all of this come to fruition. And, of course, since I made that video and had that comment, which is where I originally started, this is from Brad Garlinghouse himself. This just in, we have final approval from the NYDFS for Real USD. The fact that it's even called Real USD, I think, is very telling. I'm sure many of you get that. Exchange and our partner listing will be approved soon. And reminder, when Real USD is live, you'll hear it from Ripple first. This is going to be a game changer. Actually, I put a tweet out yesterday. Oh, it might have been 2 days ago, yeah. So yesterday, the 12th of December, where I spoke. This was taken from a very prominent bank, and they were analysing the crypto space as a whole, but certainly, of course, stablecoins are largely going to be a big part of it because they're going to become money, the technology behind money. And money has changed technologies throughout the years, and stablecoins are the evolution of that. Stablecoins are essentially just CBDCs. They're programmable. Brad Garlinghouse himself said that. Remember, Trump has vowed never to allow a central bank CBDC. Well, stablecoins are essentially the same thing. They do the exact same thing. And of course, that then means that you have to go into the more private markets for them. And Ripple is ready to assume that role. But this was a little clip that I didn't want to put the whole thing or even expose who the bank was. The US in particular sees dollar stablecoins as a mean for reasserting dollar dominance globally, while stablecoins backed by fiat reserves create demand for treasury bonds as US government debt escalates and foreign governments reduce their US treasury bonds. And we spoke about this a long, long time ago. We were really the first, I think, or one of the first people to speak about the effects that stablecoins have on the colossal debt burden that's out there, and the fact there's a big problem with the debt burden, and there's kind of like a problem reaction solution kind of thing going on here, in the sense that stablecoins are perfect for the problem that most governments face. Actually, just the other day, I'll take you guys onto my account because we've got great writers working for us now. By the way, guys, they really are truly doing a great job. And we spoke actually about Ripple potentially facilitating a real GBP. This is from the Digital Pound Foundation. Ripple are the masters at what they do. But back to the topic at hand here. Stablecoins are really going to play an important role from a dominance point of view globally, fiscally and technologically, and also they're going to innovate the financial systems through solving the debt problem, or a big part of it, or at least staving it off for a bit, that they currently are all going through. And through doing that, you're actually going to essentially liquefy trillions of dollars back into the economies. We're losing people on this again. We're throwing a lot of information out here. But the overarching theme that we're trying to put across here is that XRP is going to be an important part of the new global financial system that is coming, and the clues and evidence for that are simply everywhere. And actually a stablecoin that Ripple have just released or are looking to release is going to be massive. This is the real USD tracker, Ripple stablecoin tracker. This is just in the last 16 hours, 2 million here, 2 million there, 10 million here, 10 million here, 100,000 here, 100,000 here, 160,000 here, 640,000 here. This is just going back to yesterday. 2 million here, 2 million here, etc., etc., etc. 400,000, 1.6 million here, etc., etc. 39 million here. This is pretty insane what is currently taking place. And this is going to become the dominant stable coin. So this is really just all fundamental stuff that I wanted to sort of explain before we dive into the price, because the price confirms a lot of the fundamental things that we've just spent 8 minutes talking about, in the sense that what we've been paying attention to is a large symmetrical triangle pattern, akin to the one that led to 2017 sort of price movement, that we ultimately have said, and even gave a projection at sort of $19.27, was going to lead to a similar outcome. Not to the same percentages, but certainly you were going to see a very impressive XRP price. And that looked us, we were getting a lot of hate, which I don't mind. I would rather be right and hated than wrong and loved, which is, kind of the way the world works now. But we were getting a lot of sort of people discrediting what we were talking about, certainly when you were in the sort of 50 cents range. And I can understand the frustration. We've said, actually, we've really been highlighting the opportunity with XRP recently as we see the technical pattern is present. We want the most sort of bang for our buck, if you will. And of course, we've been accumulating, got an entire group of people that have as well throughout this time period. And since then, we're now at $2.30. So it looks a lot more likely because it's only a watt to our initial target. I think it'll go higher than that personally, but this is just something we have technical merit for that we're comfortable giving in terms of a price prediction. Talking about like an 800% move from here. I think it will go higher than that, and actually, certainly a march towards that. The big pattern very much triggered and is now in play, and certainly you ran this and you're now coming back to retest it, which is also interesting, and you're doing that in a flag-like manner. So let's explain that a little bit more. This is a key level of significance. It was resistance. It's now flipped into support. You can see you're breaking of this, and it's no coincidence where you come back and retest. Just to take the lines off. You can see you came back and retests what was prior sort of bull market resistance as support. And actually you're doing that, so we've got that big pattern in play in a very flag-like manner. So this is typically what I'd identify as a bull flag, which is likely going to, I believe, lead to continuation. And you're bumping your head right on the ceiling here. And I think this is ultimately going to set up for some sort of an interesting move to the upside. How high? Well, it depends how you want to draw your bull flags. And we're going to draw multiple of them on here to give you some sort of an inkling. So we could look at this as a potential bull flag target. We'll put them all on. We'll put the lines on, then we'll show you where that. So depending on where this breaks, there's going to be a little give and take. That's bull flag number 1. I would go with this as the more conservative, most probable. I have seen individuals look to do the entirety of this move as a bull flag, and that, of course, is likely going to take you to that sort of $10 range, which is possible. But this is very much likely a bull flag, in my opinion, or very likely a bull flag, in my opinion. We've got the macro pattern, I believe, right, and that ultimately is going to give us that $18. And now we've got potentially small continuation patterns, just like we saw back here. And we did look at these with you guys. That ultimately all led to the upside. I mean, even this bit more of an uglier one, but there's still some sort of a pattern in here. These all led to continuation. Now we've potentially got this bull flag, just like we had for Bitcoin. Certainly since it's been pulling, is a sort of big macro one for Bitcoin. But this is potentially going to lead you. We might have gone too far at the time frames here, so I'll drop down to the daily again. This is potentially the first bull flag that we have, which is taking the flag from here to here, is likely going to take you to $5.30, 36 cents. And then, of course, we've got that broader bull flag that is potentially taking you into the sort of 14 cents range, which is going to start to get you well and truly up into, or certainly towards the target that we have at 19. Let's actually put this as a solid line and make it thicker. The target that we have at 19 cents. So get ready for a big move for XRP. It's coming. There's going to be fundamental news on the back end of this. There's a million and one things that it could be. Ultimately, the trajectory that XRP and Ripple are on is a very obvious one. And the real fundamental use case for it is it's fundamentally changing the financial system as we know it and globalizing it, which is clearly the agenda. And of course, technically, we've got patterns to suggest this is all plausible. And we've just looked at a small time frame pattern in the form of a bull flag that is going to see you march further towards that bigger macro pattern that we have at $19.27. That's it from me, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to love and leave you on that note. Thanks for watching. Have a fantastic Friday, and I'll see you all in the next one.